Know me. So hi Slajana, hi Nikolai. Hi everyone.
Hi.
Let's wait 2 more minutes and we'll start.
Thank you.
Okay, let's start then. Good morning, everyone. Dear Professor Tsivici, Rector of Mediterranean University of Albania. Dear Mr. Jaka, President of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Tirana. Dear Ms. Mirela Mucha, Head of the National Agency for Science, Research and Innovation. Dear Ms. Bleriana Bino, co-founder for the Center of Science and Innovation for Development. Dear colleagues and partners, on behalf of the Mediterranean University of Albania and the project team, thank you for attending this online meeting today, and welcome in the kickoff meeting of the Erasmus Plus project in capacity building in higher education, University to Society in Omidiris in Albania, co-production of knowledge and research that matters, a project co-funded by the Erasmus Plus program of the European Union. As we all are going through a tough time of coronavirus, I hope and I wish that you and your loved ones are in good health. Today, I'm happy and emotional at the same time because Mediterranean University of Albania will lead a project partnership with 11 other partners. And I have the privilege to mention them today, starting with the Chamber of Commerce in Tirana, Professional College in Tirana, University of Shkodra, European University of Tirana, University of Durrës, Science and Innovation Center for Development, Center for Comparative and International Studies, National Agency for Science, Research, Innovation and Technology, Belgrade University, Università degli Studi Guglielmo Marconi, in Italy, Accreditation Council for Entrepreneurial and Engaged University in Germany. As you see, we are a strong network of universities, a research center, civil society organization, businesses, and public policy institution established to work and foster effective and sustainable university to society collaboration in Albania. We start today a long and a stable cooperation, the implementation of an important 24-month project, aiming an impact in the development and the European integration process of our country. And I'm confident we are a winning team. I will start with the agenda, and I'm giving the floor to Professor Tsivici, Rector of the Mediterranean University, a very encouraging person for the role of universities in society and development. Will provide translation for Professor Tsivici. Thank you, Professor. Your floor is yours.
Faleminderit, Nevila, përshëndetje të gjithëve. Jam vërtet shumë i lumtur dhe i gëzuar që dha mundësia për të folur në këtë event kaq të rëndësishëm për një çështje kardinale dhe shumë të rëndësishme jo vetëm për shoqërinë shqiptare, por përgjithsisht në nivel ndërkombëtar. në lidhje me një nga debatet dhe diskutimet më të mëdha që sot bëhet për rolin e universiteteve, për detyrat dhe objektivat e tyre në funksion të zhvillimit ekonomiko-social të shoqërisë, por mbi të gjitha dhe kontributin e tyre në zhvillimin ekonomik, marrëdhënien me biznesin dhe gjithë
Prof,
aktorët
slowly because we need translation.
dhe të gjitha aktorët e tjerë social. Natyrisht që pandemia e COVID-19 i vuri përballë sfidave të gjithë institucionet, të gjithë llojet e organizimeve, përfshirë këtu dhe edukimin dhe shkencën dhe biznesin dhe politikën, sepse me sa duket kemi hyrë në një fazë të re.
Profesor, a mundesh të lutem pak më avash sepse duhet Eva të përkthej. Ke fol shumë gjatë dhe ne nuk arrim do të përkthejmë.
A ta bëjmë pushime?
Po.
Okej.
Ja të përkthej pak e Eva edhe pastaj të vazhdosh.
Ajo që unë doja të diskutoja dhe të përcjellja si mesazh sot ka të bëjë me faktin se cili duhet të jetë roli i universiteteve, qoftë si qendra akademike mësimore, qoftë si qendra shkencore, në raport me sfidat e reja dhe periudhën e re të zhvillimit ku ne kemi hyrë. Universitetet në gjithë historinë e tyre tashmë mbi 1000 vjeçare, vazhdimisht në periudha të ndryshme të historisë, kanë përballuar kërkesa dhe sfida të ndryshme. Besoj që në momentin aktual ne të gjithë jemi përballë një pikpyetje të madhe, përgjigjja e së cilës ka të bëjë me vetardhmen e universiteteve dhe rolit tyre. Çfarë duhet bëj një universitet në raport me nevojat që ka shoqëria, me nevojat që ka biznesi?
Profe, të lutem, profesor, përkthimi është në të njëjtën kohë, duhet të thuash diçka dhe të ndalosh që Leva të përkthej. Ti do ta dëgjosh përkthimin.
E kuptova.
Prit, ndalo të përkthehet Leva dhe pastaj të vazhdosh, të lutem.
Okej. Po, e shohun e Levën që ta ndjek?
Po, e dëgjon, do ta dëgjosh dhe vazhdo Eva.
Se më duket të shkruan, prandaj duhet hapi zërin e Leva.
Do you hear me now?
Okay.
Speech from Professor Sivici, Rector of Mediterranean University of Albania. First of all, I thank you, Nevila, for inviting me to this event. I'm very happy to participate in this event because this is a very important project for our university and leads our universities and whole country to what we are inspiring to the EU integration and accession. Vazhdo, profesor.
Sot ne jemi përballë një pyetje fundamentale në lidhje me rolin e universiteteve në shoqëri dhe në zhvillim.
This is a very strategic momentum related to the role of university into the society and
zhvillimin ekonomiko-social në përgjithësi.
And the economic and social development of our country.
Dhe kjo na ka vendosur përballë një pikpyetje dhe dileme se si duhet të organizohet universiteti dhe çfarë lloji dijesh dhe njohurish duhet shpërndaj.
And this has put us in front of the many challenges that the year, professor.
Kjo na ka vendosur përballë një pikpyetje të madhe.
That how we have to
çfarë lloji dijesh dhe njohurish duhet të
related to the part of knowledge burden of the knowledge and know-how we need to produce in our universities in order to serve to the society.
Nëse duhet të vazhdoj të jetë një universitet I konceptuar në mënyrën klasike,
If it has to be a university conceptualized in the practical way of teaching,
apo duhet të jetë një universitet I përfshirë dhe në pararoj në lidhje me kërkesat e tregut punës, biznesit dhe zhvillimit.
or it has to be a university updated and integrated with the labor market and the demand from the private companies or from the business.
Pra, për të gjetur një ekuilibër më të drejtë midis edukimit dhe profesionalizimit.
And this, we think that this project helps to find a balance between the education and the business.
Profesionalizimit, jo biznesit, për të nxjerrë profesionist.
In order to make our students as professional as possible when they graduate.
Në përputhje dhe me qëllimin dhe frymën e projektit për cilin ne jemi mbledhur sot,
pursuant to our project and to our project goals and aims,
unë mendoj që universiteti ka një rol shumë të madh në
I think that the role of university is a very important one.
Në lidhje me orientimin e studentëve me tregun e punës dhe gjithë zhvillimet e reja.
Related to the orientation of students towards the labor market and the new developments.
Ne kemi disa eksperienca të mira nga bashkëpunimi me biznesin përgjithësi, me dhomat e industrisë dhe tregtisë.
So far we had, from our past projects, we had very good experience from our cooperation with the Chamber of Commerce and with the different industrial sectors.
Në mënyrë që në programet tona mësimore,
in order to
tona, të mund të përfshim sa më shumë dije dhe njohuri në përputhje me zhvillimet dhe kërkesat e këtij biznesi.
In order to adapt our curricula and our teaching plans with the labor market and with what is outside university, with different sectors.
Ekonomia, industria dhe zhvillimi po ecin me hapa shumë të shpejt.
Economy, industry are developed with high speed, so.
Dhe në kushtet e një situate përballë revolucionit 4.0 ose digitalizimit maksimal që po ndodh aktualisht.
As we find ourselves in front of the, let's say, digitalization revolution.
Në kuadrin e zhvillimit të inteligjencës artificiale, robotikës,
and in the development of artificial intelligence and robotics,
startupeve dhe teknologjisë inovative,
startups and innovative technologies,
që sot po bëhen forca kryesore e zhvillimit,
which are the main pillars of the development nowadays.
Universitetet padyshim që duhet të jenë në pararoj të këtij procesi.
We think that as universities we have to go in advance in order to cope with such developments.
Duke përgatitur një brez të ri të diplomuarish, të cilët të jenë të aftë të përshtaten dhe të kontribuojnë më njëherë në këtë tendencë të re të zhvillimit.
So it's our duty to provide the knowledge and education for a new generation, which can adapt themselves and be worth to such labor market.
Dhe për këtë arsye ne po I kalojmë në një analizë dhe filtr të gjithë programet tona mësimore,
This is the reason why I'm making an analytical analysis to all our teaching programs,
në mënyrë që universiteti të mund të realizojë në këtë këndvështrim 3 detyrat e tij themelore.
in order to achieve our main goals as a university, essential goals as university.
Pra, prodhimin e dijes,
So production of knowledge,
transmetimin e dijes
knowledge transfer,
dhe grumbullimin ose stokimin e dijes në qendra informacioni apo biblioteka.
and concentration and collection of the knowledge into center of informations and libraries.
Dhe në bashkëpunim të ngushtë me bizneset, me qendrat e mëdha të punësimit,
In close cooperation with private companies, with business and employment centers,
ne po kërkojmë që të diplomuarit tanë të jenë sa më të përshtatur me këtë treg pune shumë dinamik dhe shumë cilësor.
we intend to have graduates from our university that can be adapted and they can find jobs in such labor market.
Në këtë kuadër, në disa nga strukturat organizative dhe menaxhuese të universitetit,
In this frame of cooperation, some of the departments and structures of our university,
ne kemi përfaqësues nga organizatat e biznesit dhe nga qendrat kryesore të punësimit në tregun e punës.
we have established cooperation with some of the representatives with the employment centers and business centers, let's say Chamber of Commerces and private associations of business.
Të cilët në bashkëpunim me ne po përcjellin këtë lloj fryme dhe domosdoshmërie të zhvillimit të universitetit.
And this type of cooperation has brought this type of cooperation and this type of, let's say, innovation in our cooperation, let's say a new
Tendencën e
yeah.
Përveç kësaj, ne po bëjmë një ridimensionim dhe një vizion të ri dhe për sa i përket kërkimit shkencor.
Also, we are focused on a new vision with regard to scientific research,
Në mënyrë që kërkimi shkencor të mos jetë thjesht fasadë për një pjesë të pedagogëve ose një lloj spalete për universitetin.
in order to provide a scientific research which is valuable not only for the university and for the professors,
Por të kthehet në një prodhim shkencor në favor dhe në funksion të zhvillimeve të reja ekonomike, sociale në vend.
but to provide a scientific research which is valuable for the economic development.
Pra, në tregun e ideve shkencore të mund të jetë një produkt sa më cilësor.
So we intend to provide scientific research which is a qualitative product to the market.
Dhe njëkohësisht i lidhur ngushtë me të gjithë problematikën që ka ekonomia, financat dhe zhvillimi në Shqipëri.
Related to the gaps or problems that has economy, the finance and development in Albania.
Dhe e treta që doja të përmendja është
The third thing I would like to mention is
përpjekja maksimale për një qendër informacioni me burime të shumta informacioni dhe njohurish për studentët dhe pedagogët.
Our intentions are to make a very important information center which holds all the information for our students and can support our students.
Tashmë bibliotekat janë diçka e vogël dhe e pamjaftueshme për zhvillimet e reja dhe
Our libraries and the information they provide are insufficient to meet the high-speed developments of technology and all the research going on.
Ndërkohë që qendrat e informacionit janë me qindra herë më të mëdha nga pikpamja e burimeve të literaturës dhe informacionit për studentët dhe pedagogët.
Because the information which is available by different means is much more, is much bigger for both professors and students.
Dhe gjitha kjo po shoqërohet dhe me një thellim të digitalizimit në të gjitha qelizat e funksionimit të universitetit.
And this is part of all of the digitalization process of most of the important units for, let's say, for all of the units of the university.
Në këtë sens, për ta përfunduar, do thoya që pa neglizhuar as pak ato detyra dhe funksione domosdoshme që ka një universitet në fushën e edukimit.
So without neglecting all the other missions and goals that a university has in the field of education,
për të prodhuar qytetarë të përgjegjshëm që respektojnë demokracinë, ligjin dhe qytetarinë.
To produce education and to contribute to having good citizens in democratic terms and in civilization terms of the society.
Me një prioritet drejt përgatitjes së profesionistëve me koncepte dhe ide sa më moderne.
Also, we should provide, it's also important to provide professionals with updated concepts and work to the market.
Do ta mbyll me shprehjen e një filozofi që më pëlqen shumë.
I'd like to conclude with the saying from a philosopher.
Që neve nuk na duhen student me kokën plot, por na duhen mendje që dinë të reflektojnë. Pra, jo thjesht koka të mbushura me dije dhe informacion, po mendje inovative që dinë të reflektojnë.
So we don't need only students who have a full mind of knowledge but we need people with a mind, with an innovative mind, who need to translate this knowledge into practice.
Kjo është dhe qëllimi jon kryesor në gjithë këtë fazë të zhvillimit të universitetit dhe objektivave tonë.
This is our main goal at this stage of development of our universities.
Dhe projekti për cilin jemi mbledhur, bashkëpunimi për cilin jemi mbledhur, është ndoshta një nga mënyrat më të mira për të na ndihmuar për ta çuar përpara këtë frym dhe këtë tendencë.
And this project is one of the best to promote and to advance with this innovative idea and endeavor.
Eksperiencat e universiteteve me cilat ne bashkëpunojmë, që janë dhe sot prezente apo qendrave të ndryshme, do jenë vërtet një kontribut shumë I çmuar për neve për të ecur përpara në këtë drejtim.
We do appreciate the experiences and cooperation with other partner universities, and we think we all together can develop and can go in advance, can advance with this project.
Ju falenderit gjithëve.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Civici, for valuable words. And now I'll leave the floor to a friend of universities, to a promoter and a supporter, Mr. Yaka. He's the president of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you, Mr. Yaka, for being part of this plenary session today. I'll leave the floor to you.
Falenderit zonja Gjindi, në radhë parë me lejon të falenderoj prezencën e të gjithë partnerëve të bashkëpunëtorëve, I nderuar zoti Civici, një ndër jo vetëm ekspertët e ekonomisë, jo vetëm me një kontribut të jashtëzakonshëm në fushën e akademisë dhe të universiteteve, por edhe një ndër inkurajuesit e mëdhenj të sigurmarrjes private. Të nderuar partnerë, përfaqësues të dhomave dhe të organizatave të ndryshme, për mua është kënaqësi që jam pjesë e këtij aktiviteti të sotëm.
Okay.
Are
Are you going to translate now, or we leave the translation at the end of the speech? We'll leave it maybe at the end because you already provided. Okay, we'll leave it to the end.
Si e mendon për kthimin?
Do ta lëm në fund. Mund të vazhdosh deri ashtu dhe pastaj do ta përkthej Eva në fund.
Ishte mirë që Eva të bëjë shënime dhe pastaj të bëjë përkthimin.
Po.
Okej, atëherë unë në rastin konkret do doja të mendoja zënjë
Nikolin, unë e kam gati të gjithë materialin tuaj dhe mund të aploj listet që ndërkohë pjesëmarrësit që ndjekin.
Po jo se nuk është, unë dal zakonisht nga dhe du të kap 3-4 pika, kështu që flasë më përkëthe, më mirë.
Okay.
Përkëthe këtë pjesën e parë, pastaj vazhdojmë në pjesën tjetër.
Okay.
Kjo ishte thjesht përshëndetja, kështu që përkëthe përshëndetjen, pastaj...
Dear Mr. Civic, Director of Mediterranean University, who is expert in economy and economic development of Albania, dear Mrs. Veriana Bino, co-founder of Science Innovation for Development, dear Mrs. Navila Gjindi, and dear partners and associates, first of all, I would like to thank you for organizing of this meeting, and I wish you all a lot of success in implementation of this project, which aims promotion of cooperation among all actors in quadruple helix networks.
Përdorimi i tregtisë është shumë i rëndësishëm ky projekt, në radhë të parë sepse ka të bëjë me sigurmarrjen private dhe me qasjen e saj.
As Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Tirana, we appreciate being an important partner in such projects because it plays an important role in relation with the education institutions and businesses and creates adaptability among education institutions and labor market.
Në rastin konkret, profili i dhomës tregtisë do të bëjë një prezantim të shkurtër.
I would like to make a short presentation for the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Tirana.
Aktualisht dhoma e tregtisë është përfshirë në 14 projekte.
Actually, CCIT is implementing 14 projects and is involved in implementation of 14 projects.
Kjo edhe fal mundësisë së organizimit të brendshëm të dhomës tregtisë në një departament të veçantë për projektet.
For this purpose, we have a separate department that deals with the management of the projects.
Ndërkohë që partnerët e bashkëpunëtorë tanë, të cilët ne kemi marrëveshje bashkëpunimi, sidomos në fushën akademike të universiteteve, është jashtëzakonisht e madhe.
And our partners, the number of our partners and our collaborators with which we cooperate for the project is a considerable number.
Në rast konkret do doja të theksoja 4 pika të këtij projekti.
I would like to mention 4 important pillars of this project.
Në radhë të parë do shohim se kush janë nevojat e tregut dhe të ekonomisë kombëtare dhe rajonale.
I'd like to mention some important points for the regional economy and our national economy.
Kjo është jashtëzakonisht e rëndësishme sepse vendet e rajonit të Ballkanit Perëndimor janë pretendente për antarësinë e tyre në BE.
And I find them very important because the Western Balkan countries are candidates for the EU accession.
Dhe është mos e domosdoshme rajonalizimi ekonomik i 6 vendeve të Ballkanit Perëndimor.
And it's very important to cooperate in a regional scale between our countries, between countries of Western Balkans.
Ndërkohë që pandemia na ka ndezur sinjale të tjera.
In the meantime, the pandemic has created other problems.
Pra ka vënë sipërmarrjen private përpara kushteve dhe dilemave të mëdha të ekzistencës dhe mos ekzistencës.
In this way, the pandemic has created a difficult position for the entrepreneurship and private companies, and they find themselves in front of the challenges and dilemmas of existence and non-existence.
Kështu që është momenti më i mirë që sipërmarrja drejtohet drejt mendimit shkencor, drejt botës akademike dhe drejt mendimit kualitativ, duke patur edhe iniciativat që e bëjnë të mundur ekzistencën dhe zhvillimin e saj.
Therefore, this is the right moment to put the entrepreneurship towards the scientific thought and scientific knowledge.
Që ne të bëjmë një rivlerësim të situatës dhe ndërkohë që të hapim dhe perspektivën e zhvillimit, duhet patjetër që politikbërja të jetë prezent.
In order to reevaluate the situation and to undertake the right corrective actions, it's very important.
Dhe duke qenë konkrete dhe me një platformë të qartë se si sipërmarrja private duhet të ketë qasjen e saj me mbështetjen e politikave të qeverive të vendeve tona.
It's very important the policy making and një sekond sepse ke ecur shumë shpejt. You're too fast. So once again, please.
Pra, qeveria duhet kuptojë se kush do jenë incentivat që duhet të ndërmarrë për të mbështetur sipërmarrjen post-Covid.
So the government and the policymakers should understand that what should be the incentives that they have to foresee in order to support the private entrepreneurship.
Dhe kjo duhet jetë një politikë e vendeve të rajonit, pra një politikë e vendeve të Ballkanit Perëndimor.
And this should be a policy focused on and based on regional cooperation among Western Balkan countries.
Në mënyrë që edhe konkurenca, por edhe avantazhet krahasuese të jenë në drejtimin e duhur.
In order to put the advantages and the competitiveness to the right direction.
Një element tjetër i këtij projekti është kërkimi shkencor dhe bota akademike.
Another important element of this project is the scientific research and academic world.
Por personalisht mendoj që vjen gjithmonë pas hartimit të politikave të qarta nga qeveritë tona.
But I think this comes after the correct policy makings of our government and our state institutions.
Sepse mund të jetë shumë kërkime shkencore dhe mendime inovative, ndërkohë që sektorët për të cilët këto mendime shkencore, këto studime dalin, nuk janë në fokusin e politikbërjes.
Because the scientific research might go very well in advance and might perform successfully, but the other sectors are not prepared for absorbing the scientific research.
Dhe ky pastaj ngjelet gjithmonë problemi që ka Ballkani në përgjithësi, ku mungesa e sinkronit të hartimit të drafteve shkencore dhe kërkimore me hartimin e politikave dhe me iniciativat e biznesit janë në mospërputhje.
And this remains one of the main problems that Balkan regions countries have, which there is non-compatibility between the scientific research and the policies implemented in the country.
Ndërkohë që për të plotësuar edhe katërkëndshin, ngjelet shoqëria civile dhe media, që kanë një rol jashtëzakonisht të rëndësishëm.
In order to complete the quadruple helix network, the civil society has also an important role, and media as well.
Në radhë të parë shumë e rëndësishme që rinia shqiptare të ndërgjegjësohet për objektivat e saj.
It's important to raise the awareness of the young people in Albania.
Ne jemi të vetëdijshëm tashmë jo në Shqipëri apo gjithë rajoni i Ballkanit që është në disfavor të plotësimit të ofertës rinisë duke krahasuar atë me ofertën që jep Bashkimi Evropian apo vendet e zhvilluara perëndimore.
Once again, please.
Dhe ne jemi të vetëdijshëm.
We know very well that
Shqipëria edhe rajoni i Ballkanit perëndimor
janë the regional Balkan region.
janë në disavantazh me ofertën apo nuk janë konkurrues me ofertën që i ofrojnë rinisë së vendeve të tyre në krahasim me vendet e zhvilluara.
Okay. Are in a disadvantage, so we don't offer them a competitive package compared to the European market and European countries.
Kjo është vënë re edhe në largimet e shumta që janë bërë të rive shqiptar apo edhe të diplomuarve shqiptar dhe të rajonit në përgjithësi.
And this can be easily noticed when we analyze the figures of the young people graduated and left Albania or in the brain drain from our country and from Western Balkan countries.
Por nga ana tjetër, kjo nuk duhet na dekurajoj.
This doesn't mean that we have to be discouraged.
Por duhet na inkurajoj që të hartojmë politikat e duhur për të mbajtur rinin dhe të diplomuarit në Shqipëri dhe në vendet tona të përkatëse.
In contrary, it has to make us search for better policies to stop the brain drain.
Këtu hyn shumë ndërgjegjësimi i shoqërisë civile, ndërkohë që këtu hyn shumë edhe promovimi apo ajo çfarë shpalos media në çdo vend.
This is the role of civil society, and also it's important in this case even the role of media.
Do doja ta mbyllja fjalën time me një vlerësim maksimal për projektin, duke besuar që ky projekt do të jetë rezultate konkrete.
I'd like to conclude my speech with high appreciations for the project, believing that this project will achieve realistic results and will be successful.
Ashtu siç edhe kam një besim të palëkundur ndaj lid partnerit.
Because I am very confident and I strongly believe in the experience and the values of each partner.
Dhe personalisht tek zonja Gjindi, ku me eksperiencën e saj jam I bindur që do të ketë sukses edhe në implementimin e suksesit për këtij projekti.
And I also strongly believe even in the capacities of Mrs. Gjindi, that is the project manager of the leading partner for this project.
Siguroj që dhoma e tregtisë do jetë e angazhuar maksimalisht.
I'm sure that we'll be highly committed and dedicated to this project.
Dhe sot këtë aktivitet po ndjek gjithë departamenti I projekteve brenda dhomës tregtisë.
And we have, as I told, we have the special department of project management within the Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Tirana.
Ku më pas do kemi edhe një prezantim të hollësishëm të punës dhe të departamentet të dhomës tregtisë.
Later we'll make a presentation of the CCIT and its departments.
Dhe në cilësinë e kryetarit të dhomës ju premtoj angazhim maksimal që ky projekt të jetë I suksesshëm. Faleminderit.
And we promise our commitment for the success of this project.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yaka. As always, you're a good friend of university, and thank you very much for the good words. Now I leave the floor to Ms. Mirela Mucha, the head of the National Agency for Science, Research and Innovation. Mirela is a supporter of the role of the science and research for a better co-production of knowledge in our society, and she's a good friend of the university. Now I leave the floor to Ms. Mucha. Thank you for being part of this meeting.
Thank you, Nevila. Thank you, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm very honored to be part of this plenary session. But first and foremost, I appreciate very much the fact that NASRI, or National Agency for Scientific Research and Innovation in Albania, is invited to be part of this partnership in this project. And I commit myself, and on behalf of the institution, I commit all the efforts of my staff to realize all the actions and activities that are foreseen in the project, in this project. First, I would like to present the research system in Albania to understand what are the policymakers' institutions and who are the actors that are involved in the research and innovation system in Albania. So the system is led by Academy of Science, of course, and in terms of the policymaking is led by the Ministry of Education, Sport and Youth. The National Agency for Scientific Research and Innovation, NASRI, which I represent today, is a public agency and an executive one. So another actors that are very important in the scientific research system in Albania are universities, of course, national research centers, think tanks, public centers, agencies of development and technology transfers, centers, agencies, institutes, and other private entrepreneurships dealing with research, development, technology, and knowledge transfer. So the number of institutions that are involved in scientific research and innovation in Albania are a lot, but to tell the truth, the effectivity of their effectivity is not in the level that we would like to be. In terms of priority areas of research and innovation in Albania, I would like to mention that are defined 6 priority areas that are water and energy, agricultural, nutrition and biotechnology, information and communication technology, biodiversity and environment, health, and social and albanology science. National Agency for Research and Innovation, NASRI, acts, as I said before, acts as a coordinating and guiding structure which cooperates with institutions in the field of science and technology for sustainable development of the country in line with the national priorities in science and technology development. NASRI offers technical assistance to all the institutions in regard the investment in the field of science, technology, and innovation. It also plays a role as national coordinator of national contact points in terms or in relation with foreign institutions and European programs of research and innovation. In terms of the programs that NASRI run, there are 2 main pillars, national programs and international programs. I would like to be focused on national programs because I think that all the audience that are here today in the plenary session are interested to know what are the national programs that NASRI run in terms of supporting scientific research. The main research documents that we are based on are National Strategy for Science, Technology and Innovation, 2017-2022, and the Law of Higher Education. In fact, these 2 main documents are very recently approved and are very new. And in a way, there are 2 achievements, main achievements that we have reached recently in our working life. But we have also too many challenges in terms of policy documents, in terms of institution development that are drafting the law of scientific research. There are too many efforts done in this direction, but still we do not have scientific research in place. And the second one is drafting a policy document for institutional reform of scientific research. Speaking for institutional reform on scientific research means establishment of the Interministerial Council of Science Policies that is, let's say, a structure that is foreseen in the law of higher education, but despite the fact that the law is approved 2 years ago, this institution is not established yet. And the second is establishment of a parliamentary commission for science and innovation. This is foreseen also in the law of higher education, but is not established even this institution, even this structure, not institution. In terms of national programs, as I mentioned before, we do have national programs that support the research infrastructure program. This program, I'm very proud of this program. It started 2 years ago with, it was very successful. Around 15 universities participated in this program, and they were supported with a strong fund in terms of building laboratories and building infrastructure for scientific research. Another program is the program of Center of Excellence. This is a program, in fact, that is not in place yet. It is in our plans, but it's not functioning yet. The program of young researchers, the Brain Gain program. This is also in our programs, but it's not in place. And the program that I would like to mention and strongly highlight is the program for cooperation between business and universities. This is a very recent program. It started by mid of February of this year. We have recently published the call for proposals, which will support all the universities and businesses that cooperate in terms of scientific research and innovation. You can find this program in our website, and I have to promote these programs through a tour of discussion and info days that NASRI will organize with universities and businesses. Its aim is to support the cooperation between universities and business, but above all, we would like to break the skepticism that exists between universities and businesses in terms of cooperation between each other. So if we look at the progress report of this year, of last year, and in all the progress reports and in all the evaluation reports that have been produced for Albania, we can see that cooperation between businesses and universities is just in the first steps, and in general this is an issue, in fact, that we would like to turn it in a success factor. These are our programs, and I would like to promote this program very much. In fact, there are not too many money. We have put in this pocket around 100,000 euros, but we will see if the program should the program will have a success in terms of cooperation, we will extend this pocket, of course. Thank you very much. If there are questions, I'm open to answer, or during the panel or in the end of the day or of the panel. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Mucha. That's the main reason, actually, we we ask you to be our partner in this project because we knew that there is a strategy for research and development that it's lying ahead. And there are many other things that needs to be done and projects to be implemented. So I hope that our project will be one of the good examples and a success story to share within the strategy. So before I leave the floor to Bleriana to do some concluding remarks and next steps, I'll just like to emphasize that, as I mentioned before, we are 12 partners in this project. Very good network of university, research center, civil society, business, public policy institution, and I would like to ask other partners if they have something shortly to say before I'll give the floor, as I mentioned, to Bleriana, and then we leave for our next internal session. So if someone has to say something or wants to say something in this plenary session, the floor is yours. Okay, I know that we have a lot to say in our internal meeting. Thank you to Mirela, thank you to Mr. Yaka, thank you to Professor Civizzi for their wonderful speeches and intervention in our plenary session. Then now I leave the floor to my friend, my colleague, and a co-writer and co-thinking of the project. I know that many of you, at least the partners, know her. It's Bleriana Bino. It's the co-founder of SciDev. Thank you, Bleriana.
Thank you, Nabila. It gives me great pleasure to see a full digital house today, and with long-term partners. I'm looking at Slajana and Susanna and Arturo, but also new partners, our colleagues from Germany, and of course our friends and partners from Albania. Thank you, Professor Civizzi, Mr. Yaka, and Mrs. Mucha for your valuable inputs. As you all mentioned, higher education and research sector have high potential and relevance in the social and economic development of the country, also in light of our efforts for European integration process and democracy. So as a consortium, we are strongly committed to enhance an enabling higher education environment that supports these links between university and society. And by society, we mean policymakers, business actors, civil society organizations, and media and other formal or informal groups and networks, in order to produce knowledge and research that is not only scientifically valid and academically insightful, but in order to be applied and practical and to be linked to our contextual challenges in light of COVID-19, digital transformation, as Professor Civizzi mentioned, or other development challenges that Albania, but also the entire region is facing. So we are launching this project based on previous cooperation, but also gap analysis that we have conducted regarding the current capacities of universities to cooperate with the society at large, as I mentioned before. And what emerges is that Albanian universities are in a perpetual transformation, I guess, similar to other partners in Western Balkans, but also in Europe, to re-envision their position in society. The European Commission report for Albania, but also over the years, other independent reports have pointed out our limited capacity for research, development, and innovation, which were also highlighted by Professor Civizzi, Mr. Yaka, and also Mrs. Mucha before. But there is promising changes and positive changes as well. With the recent legal and policy framework on higher education in Albania, there is an encouragement for the triple helix model, and this is a very welcoming measure. However, achieving this effective and productive university to business university policy collaboration remains very challenging. As you are all aware, due to limited availability of research funds, limited infrastructure, lack of incentives for researchers and academics to engage in this kind of cooperation and this general distrust in the quality of research that is being produced, but also the limited capacities of public institution, private institution as well to absorb, so to take up research. Traditionally, universities exist as institution for the creation and dispersion of knowledge, but in our current world, and it was rightfully mentioned by the other speakers as well, universities must engage with their own socio and economic context, and we are taking the triple helix model and upgrading it in a sense into a quadruple helix model. So in addition to business sector and policy, we aim to work and to foster the connection between research and civil society and media as well. And this is why this project proposes a model of cooperation of knowledge for finding solutions for our current challenges, but also future ones in Albania. And this is why we aim to work not only with academics and researchers, but of course with students as well and with youth, as was mentioned before. The European Commission highlights that the quadruple helix model is the next challenge, actually, where government, industry, academia, civil participants from media and civil society have to work together to co-create the future and to drive structural changes, which are far beyond the scope of what any organization can do alone. So the challenges that we face today as a society, and I don't mean only in Albania, but broadly speaking, are such that no actor can find solution alone. And this is why our final aim is to produce a strong network of universities, research centers, civil society organizations, businesses, and public policy institutions, a coalition including media as well, so as to foster this effective and sustainable linkages between university and society at large. And to this will be done with the establishment or the improvement of already existing knowledge transfer and innovation brokerage unit in universities in Albania. And we will be doing this by cooperating with one another, by sharing experiences, by providing peer-to-peer support, by fostering regional cooperation. We will have the University of Belgrade who will support us in this process, and also University of Marconi as well, to share their experience, and the Accreditation Council in Germany who will share with us their experience regarding the entrepreneurial aspect of universities. So it will be a learning process, I suppose, for most of us, for all of us, but we are looking forward to it because we have been working on this initiative for some time now, and this was not the first attempt to receive an Erasmus Plus grant. I'm very happy that we finally managed. In terms of our next steps within the project, we will continue, we will start actually with the mapping and the need assessment, building upon what is already done, but also aiming to customize all the activities of the project based on the specific needs of each partner and also on the current situation. When we wrote the project, we were in a pre-COVID area, if you like, and now currently we are in a COVID-induced reality, and hopefully soon we will be in a post-COVID reality. So things are have changed, the way we teach, the way we work as well, and we communicate and cooperate with one another. So this is why in the first 6 months we will be reassessing again our approach and try to customize it to the current needs of the partners, but also of the context that we're living in. Of course, we will work very hard as a consortium to promote the project. You all know how important the visibility is, not only in terms of being an obligation for the EU funding, but also to build sustainability and to build synergies with other initiatives and other projects similar to the one that we are about to implement. Of course, as I said, we look forward to strengthen the cooperation between higher education institutions. So we have University of Durrës of Shkodra, European University of Tirana, Professional College of Tirana, and of course our lead partner, Mediterranean University of Albania. So they will be working together and providing peer-to-peer support and exchange of good practices and learning from one another. Finally, I'm looking forward to the second year of the project. We will be actually implementing concrete programs such as the one about seconding a researcher, where our researchers will be placed within particular businesses to solve particular problems. So this hopefully will increase the uptake of research from the business sector and build more trust. But also we will be working with students on policy labs and policy fund challenge. So as the students and teachers work together to find solution for current challenges that we are facing. Thank you again. I believe this is a very promising start to our project implementation. And as Nabila mentioned, after this plenary is finished, we will have a break and we will regather together again in the same link for our internal project meetings. So we will be starting, I guess, at 11:45. We have a lot to discuss, maybe also to get to know each other better and to plan our work in the future. Again, thank you very much, and wish all of us have a successful and productive project. Thank you, Nabila.
Thank you, Blair. Thank you, everyone. So we'll finish our plenary session here. It was really a pleasure to see all of you, meeting you actually. So hope next year, maybe, who knows, this year we'll kind of meet each other face to face, but hopefully next year we'll definitely have to meet. And I'll leave you for a short break, and then we meet again, as Dariana mentioned, at 11:45 to have our internal meeting. Thank you for all the friends and colleagues that attended the plenary session. I really appreciate your time and support to this project. You have a good day.
Thank you. See you later.
See you later.
Thank you. See you later.